I am Daniel Simone. I am the author of the Lufthansa Heist, among other books. Uh, and I'm chatting with Dax. It's certainly been quite a pleasure to be on his show, and I hope to be able to return again.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Daniel Simone.
He was acquitted. After the trial, Gary reached out to my agent, and my agent put him in contact with me, and Gary wanted for me to collaborate with him on some sort of project, maybe a sequel to the Lufthansa Heist book or something. And I debriefed him for a number of years. I compiled a great deal of information from him. I've got boxes of documents and files that Gary provided me. Unfortunately, he passed away suddenly. And so Gary and I never actually arrived at the point where we were about to begin a new project together. But now, recently, I've embarked on a new book based on all the information that I did receive from Gary. And the bottom line is that everything Henry told me, everything he revealed to the FBI, 95% was all fiction.
So, what? Really?
When I reached out to the FBI and to the U.S. attorney who was in charge of the Lufthansa prosecution, when I reached out to them to corroborate Henry's information, they said, yes, that's absolutely true. But the fact of the matter is that Henry was the only source of information, not only to me, but to the FBI as well. So whatever Henry told me, he told the FBI. So when I asked the FBI, is this true? Is that true? They said, yes, it's true. But the fact of the matter is that Henry was the only source that we all had. So whatever story he told me, he told the same story to the authorities.
Yeah, so when you're reaching out to the authorities, you're getting Henry's story that he told them.
Yeah.
And it's the same story. So it's kind of like,
correct.
It's just a big loop.
So there was no corroborating evidence from other sources or other witnesses. It was only Henry. But in the interim, as I mentioned, I embarked on a new book based on what Gary revealed to me, based on all the documents that Gary provided to me. And it's going to be sort of a sequel to the Lufthansa heist, but from a different slant, from the perspective of the person who was actually involved in the robbery.
And they gave him immunity, right?
They gave him what they call transactional immunity. They enrolled him in the Federal Witness Protection Program. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, Gary passed away. And I arranged for Gary to be the protagonist of a documentary titled The Greatest American Robberies. And this was a series broadcast by the History Channel. The series launched about a year and a half ago, and Gary was the protagonist of one of the episodes. Unfortunately, he died approximately a month and a half after he was filmed for the episode. Matter of fact, by the time the episode was actually aired, Gary had already passed. Man. And of course, now I'm left with his legacy and all the documentation, information that he revealed to me, and he was very, very thorough. And so this is what the new book will be about.
What are your thoughts about the information that Henry Hill told you versus Gary? Do you think that Vinny Asaro committed the Lufthansa heist and organized it? Or do you think there's some truth to Henry Hill's story?
There's very little truth to Henry Hill's story. Very, very little. Vincent Asaro was, in fact, one of the organizers in collaboration with Jimmy Burke. And his cousin Gary, as I mentioned, was the lead gunman. But the reason why Henry did not reveal Gary's and Asaro's involvement, not only to me, but to the authorities as well, the reason why he held back that information could be two possibilities. One, he feared that Vincent Asaro would have killed him. Now, Vincent Asaro at that time, he was a capo. He was a captain. And if he wanted to whack Henry, no one could have stopped him. Henry knew that. The second possibility is that Henry simply did not know that Asaro and Gary were involved. It could be the answer, the possibility could be as simple as that. He just did not know.
Yeah.
Or, as I said, he feared that Asaro would have definitely whacked him. And if Asaro wanted to do that, no one could have stopped him.
I think. What do you think he didn't know? I think he might not have known.
I don't know. It's a 50-50 possibility or probability.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 chance that he might have known, or maybe he just did not know. After all, Henry himself was not involved in the physical aspect of the robbery.
What was Henry's role in the whole robbery scheme?
Henry's only role in the robbery scheme was that he introduced the Lufthansa inside man to Jimmy Burke. And that was it. Past that point, Henry had no physical involvement whatsoever with the robbery. He did not sit in at all the preparatory rehearsals. He did not participate in all the meetings that led up to the planning of the robbery. None of that. So is it possible that Henry simply did not know about Asaro and Gary's involvement? Yes, it's very, very likely.
Now, what about Tommy DeSimone?
No relation to me, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that
I want to establish that. Tommy DeSimone was a crazy kid. He was just a loose cannonball. He really did no thinking at all. He operated on impulse. Violence was his only method of solving any problems. And he was a very, very violent young man, to the extent that when he purchased a new weapon, a new revolver, he would adjust the sights on the gun by shooting at people at random for no reason, for no apparent reason. So he committed violence and crimes for no real motive, no motive of to gain anything out of it. And he was just simply someone who was uncontrollable. But did he ever accomplish anything of means? No, he was involved he was one of the gunmen of the Lufthansa robbery, and he almost screwed it up for everyone involved because evidently his face became overheated with perspiration. He was wearing a ski mask. And at some point during the robbery, while he's holding some of the Lufthansa hostages at gunpoint, he just took his mask off to wipe his face, not realizing that he had just revealed his face to about a dozen captors that he was holding at gunpoint. In fact, one of them did identify him. But by the time that he was identified by one of the Lufthansa captors, he had already been killed. And that was probably one of the reasons why he was killed.
Because he took his mask off during the robbery.
Mask off, yeah.
So
to wipe his face of perspiration.
I hear he was really a tall man.
He was, unlike Joe Pesci, who portrayed him. Joe Pesci's maybe 5'2", maybe 5'4" with the Cuban heels on. But conversely, Tommy DeSimone was about 6'4". He was a tall, imposing young man, very well built. Yes, he was quite an imposing figure.
Now, did Henry Hill ever tell you the story about Billy Batts getting killed?
Yes, but the real story of Billy Batts was not over that argument, over the shoeshine box that is portrayed in the film Goodfellas. The real reason was